This moment here in the 90th minute epitomised everything great about Manchester United against Arsenal. We can see several players high up the pitch for the corner, and Arsenal are going to try and counter-attack, but the response of the players was genuinely brilliant. We can see all of them immediately turning and sprinting back towards their own goal. And when I say sprinting, I mean sprinting. Look at De Ligt, he is pushing his body to the limits there to track back for Manchester United. You can see all the players trying to flood back. And when we eventually get into this situation, it's actually our striker, Joshua Zirkzee, making the tackle, and then De Ligt on the follow-up on the block. Look how many players we have around the ball, and then even the second ball as well, we clear it into touch. This is everything that Ruben Amorim wants Manchester United to be, and we knew that this was going to be the case. When he first joined the club, he said that he wanted his team to run like mad dogs, and that's exactly what Manchester United are doing. This is the Ruben Amorim identity. But it's only actually possible for one reason, and that is what we are going to be looking at today. But before we get into that, if you could quickly subscribe, it would be amazing. Just go press subscribe, please, and then we'll get into the video. So Manuel Ugarte actually summed this up better than anyone else. He said, when we have the ball, it is a game, but when we don't have the ball, it's a fight. And what that means is that when Manchester United have the ball, they want to relax, they want to enjoy it, they want to enjoy having the ball, even when you're under pressure. But the second we lose the ball, it's all about fighting, being responsive, looking to get towards the ball and looking to put tackles in. And that's exactly what Ruben Amorim wants, and they go hand in hand. You see, when you are a side that controls the ball, that slows down on the ball, even under pressure, it allows you to get your breath back. In this game, United only had about 30% of the ball over the 120-minute match. That means you're doing a lot of running, you're doing a lot of defending, and it's difficult to do. Mentally and physically, that's extremely tiring. When you then get on the ball, it's very tempting to try and punch Arsenal, to try and hit them on the attack, to quickly go forward and try and strike. But what Manchester United did instead was actually quite often in this game slowed it down. We took extra touches, we tried to get a foot on the ball, and the reason we were trying to do that was so that when we had the ball, rather than doing even more sprinting, we were actually almost then in active recovery. So we're still moving about, we're still moving into different positions, but at a much lower intensity than when we don't have the ball. This is the benefit of keeping the ball when you can. And of course, the players that Amorim selects facilitates this. Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte in particular in midfield. They are currently our two best retention-based midfielders. When they get the ball, they're good under pressure. They can carry the ball over a few yards, and their pass retention numbers are normally pretty good. And it really sets the tone for Manchester United. But perhaps the player which really captures it more than anyone else is Bruno Fernandes. This is a man that we have associated with quick, fast, counter-attacking football for a long time. In fact, a lot of people have tried to tell us you can't play possession football with Bruno Fernandes because he's too direct. But this game really proved otherwise. It wasn't just about this good defensive work, but it's this next sequence here. Manchester United have the ball in a deep position. You can see Lisandro Martinez in possession, looking up, trying to find a pass. And the first positive is that all the United players are coming towards him. So this means he's going to have loads of options on the ball. In the past, we have seen United players which quickly like to move forward, and it leaves this area a bit vacated. The players on the ball a little bit isolated with nowhere to go. But in this game, our players wanted to get on the ball. This is the talk about it being a game in possession, wanting touches, almost relishing the pressure, wanting to take the ball in these moments. You can see Dalot actually has a look up. There is potentially an option to be more direct here. Could we go long into the striker or for a big switch? Possibly. But Dalot chooses to slow it down and he actually goes inside to Ugarte. A couple of passes later, we are in this position here, Garnacho running through the middle of the pitch with the ball. And this looks like a transitional moment. And eventually we move it wide to Bruno Fernandes. Now when Bruno Fernandes gets the ball here, we all know what is going to happen. Players are going to run into the box. Bruno Fernandes is most likely going to go for a Trivela, an outside of the boot cross in towards the middle, and the opposition will probably deal with it. Or certainly that is what may have happened in the past. But not now, because Bruno Fernandes does something very telling. He turns back to keep the ball for Manchester United. We end up actually back with our centre-back, Lisandro Martinez. Then what happens after this is we see about 10 passes in the space of 25 seconds. So United are taking their time, that's a couple of seconds per pass, and Kobbie Mainoo takes the shot. This is now no longer a transitional situation. These Manchester United players, if you look at them, none of them are sprinting. So we have still been able to threaten Arsenal. This was the first shot on target of the game. We have put them under pressure, but we've also actually recovered because our players aren't running, they're taking their time, they're getting their energy back. And because they've got their energy back, when Kobbie Mainoo eventually has the shot, Raya catches it and chooses to play out. Because we've just had 30 seconds there really to get some energy back. When we do lose the ball, we can then go and hunt in packs again because we are more energetic. People have been asking, how come Manchester United can suddenly play for 90 minutes with intensity? Previously, we could only do it for about half an hour. Well, it's because we are playing with a different approach. We try to keep the ball when we can. We give ourselves those active recovery moments. So in these situations, we can then go and hunt. And this is Garnacho doing incredible defensive work. He just kept going. Player to the next player to the next player. Applying pressure to the ball. You can see the rest of the team picking up their players. No option for David Raya but to send the ball long. And who's there? It's a Manchester United player on the first contact, Diogo Dalot. The ball eventually comes back again, but then there's Harry Maguire able to steal in with the tackle. This 1 minute clip really just summed up everything good about Manchester United in this game. It was about keeping the ball when possible, slowing it down to get our energy, while still being a threat at the Arsenal goal, and then defensively hitting them. Now, of course, this is only possible, yes, when physically you protect yourself, but also if you have the right mentality as well. And this is where we have seen Ruben Amorim's side kind of switching things up a little bit. This Manchester United side looks much more focused. They look like a team that enjoy defending. We always saw that in moments under Erik ten Hag as well, by the way. We should make it clear. There were off games, the FA Cup final, for example, where we looked like we really relished those defensive moments. But what's important is that this looks like a United side just at the moment, which is willing to suffer. And this is what Bruno Fernandes was saying after the match. It's about suffering as a team. I say it quite a lot in the streams. It's about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, accepting that there's going to be difficult moments where you don't have the ball, but you have to sacrifice, you have to suffer, and you do have to work as a team. And that's exactly what we saw. Of course, eventually we went down to 10 men. We saw changes. Someone like Xerxes comes onto the pitch, and he actually very often ended up in midfield. You can see it here. The formation almost at times ended up as a sort of 5-4-0. And again, that's all these players fighting for the team. The centre-backs epitomise this as well. Lisandro Martinez going in for tackles. De Ligt with an absolutely incredible goal line clearance. Harry Maguire heading away anything that came into the box. Mazraoui putting his head, his life arguably on the line to clear this ball as the boot comes swinging in from Kai Havertz. This is what Manchester United were all about in this game. Fighting for each other. And I just think that's what Ruben Amorim wants his team to be. On the ball, it is about being composed. You have to manage your emotions. And that is difficult to do. It's difficult to manage your emotions. Because if 1 second you're buzzing about, you're cracking into tackles, you're playing with great intensity, and then you get the ball back, and you've got to slow down. You've got to take your time. You've got to be composed and calm and pick the right pass. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to make that mental switch. But these Manchester United players are starting to do it. They've certainly done it in the last 2 games against Arsenal and Liverpool. For me, it's about continuing that now. In my opinion, it's very easy to do it away from home at Liverpool and Arsenal. People always say that's a big test mentally. For me, I actually think they're the easier games because it's so easy to get motivated for that fixture. You know, the fans, the away fans are going to be good. They're going to be behind you. They're going to cheer you on all the way. And the motivation is the biggest matches. It's what you want to play in. I actually think the bigger test for this Manchester United squad and their mentality and their emotional maturity, if you like, is actually this Thursday, a home game against Southampton. That's now a huge game. If the Manchester United players can go out in that game and apply the same intensity again, even if technically we're not quite good, because that happens. Sometimes you don't complete your passes or your touch is poor or you can't finish. Even if that happens, as long as the players physically and mentally apply themselves like they have in the last 2 games, then the Manchester United fans will get behind the players, but also Ruben Amorim. And genuinely, Manchester United can still turn this into a positive season. Do I think we're going to finish in the top 4? No, it's tough. But we can end the season in a positive way with that mindset kind of switch. This, in my opinion, is the Ruben Amorim identity. And it's what Manchester United have to build on. It has to be the foundation moving forward. This is how all great football teams play. Maybe now it's our turn to finally do it. Not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think is the switch? Why has it changed in the past few games? Is it just a one-off? Is it a purple patch? Are we going to return to old ways against Southampton? Or have we turned a page? Are Manchester United moving in the right direction? Is it because of Ruben Amorim? Is it because of the fight of certain players, the leaders on the pitch? Maguire, Martinez, De Ligt, Ugarte, Bruno Fernandes? Or is it something else entirely? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and also leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on whilst you're there. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.